What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes on the day another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news, topic, tweets, videos you want me to talk about tomorrow? So yesterday I told you guys that I wanted to read that MrBeast document, the leaked document that basically, I don't know, talks about his corporate culture or something. I think Rosanna Piscino might have read off a few of the bits, and I wanted to read it off with you guys blind here. But before I do, I think we might have some more pressing news that affects all of us equally. My brother in Christ, what in the goddamn hell, bro? The social security numbers of every American citizen has allegedly been stolen. What do you actually even, isn't that like the most important thing? Like, isn't that like the thing of all things, the IDs of all IDs? If this gets leaked, right, you're just, everyone is cooked, right? But is this like a situation where if everyone is cooked, no one is cooked? Is it open season and people like, I feel like this should be like bigger news. People should maybe be panicking more, but everyone is just kind of like, well, it's just 2024. Just another random worldwide event that affects the entire United States all at once, and I guess it is what it is. This tweet by Colin saying, Justin, every American social security number may have been stolen and a new hack with 2.7 billion records allegedly stolen. What do they even mean by allegedly? That's what I'm trying to also understand. Can someone put a confirmation or a denial? Like, don't give me the news of the fact that maybe everyone's social security number was stolen. Did everyone's social security number get leaked or not? Where is the actual proof so far? Hacking group US DoD claims they have stolen 2.7 billion records of Americans' personal information. The personal information includes social security numbers and physical addresses. The data was allegedly stolen from the data broker National Public Data. The broker offers personal info to employers, private investigators, and staffing agencies. For examples, US DoD is allegedly offering to sell the stolen records. Oh my God. Imagine what is up with the cybersecurity? Cybersecurity, what are y'all doing, bro? I thought y'all supposed to be protecting us. I thought you were supposed to protect these cyber streets. These cyber streets ain't safe and you got everybody out here cooked. There's a little bit more detail on this. You guys might want to pay attention because it might impact you, like all of you at home and then all of your friends and family. So maybe tell them about this as well. On top of having your social security number, the current and past address, and the names of siblings and parents, personal data that could allow fraudsters to infiltrate financial accounts or take out loans in their name. The allegation arose in a lawsuit filed earlier this month by Christopher Hoffman, a California resident who claims his identity theft protection service alerted him that his personal information had been leaked to the dark web by the quote nationalpublicdata.com breach. The lawsuit was earlier reported by Bloomberg Law. The breach allegedly occurred around April 2024, so it's August, and people are saying that the I'm sorry. Okay. I'm gonna keep going. But yo, I better not find out that all of our information got leaked 4 months ago. And now we just now finding out because there was a lawsuit by somebody else and we've been sitting out here just naked and afraid this entire time on the online without even knowing. Anyway, it got hacked by the company called National Public Data, NPD, which is a background check company according to the lawsuit. Earlier this month, a hacker leaked a version of the stolen NPD data for free on a hacking forum. Tech site Bleeping Computer reported. That hacker claimed the stolen files include 2.7 billion records, with each listing a person's full name, the address, the date of birth, the social security number, and phone number. So it's everything. It's everything. It's everything that you got. We're cooked. Everything about you is just out there now. And NPD has not immediately responded to requests for comment. What do you mean? Wake the hell up. What do you mean you're not requesting? Just confirm or deny this shit so people can basically safeguard. Man, this would be a good time to have a VPN ad right now, like a cybersecurity integration right now. I don't got that one for you today. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about this. I'm a little frustrated about the fact that it might have allegedly happened. Let's just talk about, okay, the hack itself and then what we need to do, people, you at home, what do we need to do to safeguard ourselves? The end of the article reading, did NPD alert the individuals about the hack? It's unclear, although the lawsuit claims that the NPD has still not provided any notice or warning to Hoffman or other people affected by the breach. And if it's other people affected by the breach, it means the entire country, the entire American citizens have not been alerted. In the meantime, for you guys at home, what should you do to protect your information? Security experts recommend that the consumers put freezes on their credit files at the 3 big credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Freezing your credit is free, and it will stop bad actors from taking out loans or opening credit cards in your name. You can also get a tracking service that will alert you if your data appears on the dark web, and you should make sure to enroll in a 2-factor authentication, which will make it tougher for hackers to get access to your accounts. Okay, so the first 2 things that they're basically suggesting brain, I feel like it's like a band-aid that does not work. Like, I can't freeze my credit forever. If you're at home, you can't freeze your credit forever, right? Eventually you got to use it, okay? So just everyone around the world just freezing your credit, that's not going to work. Then the second part about the whole tracking service, if your data appears from the web, imagine you got a tracking service and you're like, yeah, now I'm going to track to see when the freaking hackers use my information. By that time, it's going to be too late, and somebody opened up a loan for $2 million freaking dollars under your name, and you're going to be like, what in the hell happened? Okay, so basically now I can just see the thieves stealing. It's like if you have binoculars and looking into your house, you're like, yep, I can see the thieves. They're stealing all my shit. I can't do anything about it, but I can see it. The last one, though, I think is really important is the two-factor authentication. Okay, that one is really important. You guys can look online for two-factor authentications. What it does is that once you put in your password somewhere, it goes to your phone. And then you know how sometimes in your phone you have to go to your messages in order to basically put in like a 6-digit number or something like that? Well, even that can be breached by hackers if they have all of this information. So what you can download are like certain apps and programs that act as that intermediary. In order to open the app, you have to put in like a master password, right? So it's hard to kind of get into this app. It's harder for hackers to get into your phone and then get into the app and then find that password and then find that 6-digit number that also floats every 30 seconds. It changes itself every 30 seconds. So it's a lot harder for your stuff to get stolen if you have two-factor authentication. Long and short of all this, though, it just sounds like we're cooked. It sounds like there's like literally nothing we can do outside of just maybe putting some safe assets to it. But if you're a hacker, it's open season, baby. You can go around stealing, doing whatever the hell I might even have to change careers and join the guild myself, right? Because if you can't beat them, you know, you might as well freaking join them. Not admitting to a future crime, okay? I'm just saying, yo, I know which side is winning here. I'll let you guys know if there's any updates, if the national public data people actually respond, if this is all allegedly or if somebody's lying or goofing. I don't like the fact that people are saying that it's allegedly because it doesn't make any sense. This is too big of a claim for it to just be alleged. Also, it might impact all of you. Wake up, babe. We have a new pandemic alert. The World Health Organization, as of yesterday, declared that monkeypox is a public health emergency of international concern. Okay, so not just a concern. I think that it was arisen originally in Africa, not just there. Apparently now we have a international concern. Someone said, okay, but in all seriousness, if we ever have to go through a lockdown again, please actually take the time seriously this time, because have y'all seen what monkeypox could do to you? You know what? I don't know what monkeypox can do to you, but from what I understand, this joint is no joke. When you get monkeypox, it's like real bad. So instead of spreading fear for you guys, okay, let me just let you guys know, A, what is monkeypox? B, how much is it actually spreading? Like, is there really going to be lockdowns, or what's the seriousness of this actually spreading? And then C, how do you just like not catch it, right? Like, if it's going to be around here and it's floating around, how do you just not get got? So first of all, to let you guys know that this is international, okay, this is the Vancouver Sun. It's a news article from Canada. And Canada basically put out a state of the emergency as well, saying, hey, we're putting out vaccines for the monkeypox essentially because it's spreading what you need to know about the monkeypox virus. Health officials in Toronto issued a call this week for eligible residents to get vaccinated against the mpox following a spike in cases recorded throughout the city and concerns that cases are continuing to increase around the world. So it's happening. It is spreading. It is going around the world. Okay, it's not just one of those like, I don't think anything's really happening. It's actually happening. Monkeypox is a rare viral infection first discovered in 1958 amongst monkeys kept for research. Okay. The first human case was recorded in 1970 in a 9-month-old boy in Congo. And since then, the mpox cases have been reported in several African countries, including Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire, Democratic Republic of Congo, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, mostly in rural rainforest regions. Historically, monkeypox is typically limited in Africa. Cases outside the continent are rare and usually linked to international travel or imported animals, usually rodents. That's why the new rash of recent cases in Europe and North America in 22 triggered concern. What's the current mpox situation in Canada and around the world? As of July 30th, 2024, the BC Centre of Disease Control had recorded 225 confirmed cases within the province since it began began tracking the disease. This follows an outbreak in 2022 that was officially declared over in January 2023. The majority of those were reported in the Vancouver coast area, 174, while Fraser Health had just 34 cases. So people are basically like being like, hey, there's an outbreak and there's a lot of people who have monkeypox that do not live in freaking Africa, okay? They live amongst you right now. How contagious is monkeypox? Monkeypox is transmitted when a person comes into contact with the virus from an animal, a human, or contaminated objects. It can enter the body through broken skin or mucous membranes, aka the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So it doesn't look like it's airborne. Virus doesn't spread easily between people. That's good to know. Human to human transmission occurs primarily through large respiratory droplets and through close and prolonged contact. Health officials have said there's no risk in contacting the virus through activities like eating at restaurants or taking a public transit. So it sounds like it gets spread by snoo, okay? All right, making out, doing the yum, spreading out, exchanging the spit, and that looks like human contact, all right? Snoo, loving and making up. Seems like that's how monkeypox is spreading. So if you're a virgin, you're safe. Or if you can't get any hoes or bitches, you're also safe. The symptoms, in case you're curious, you think you might get it, okay? But it usually begins with flu-like symptoms, fever, headache, muscle ache, fatigue, followed by a bumpy rash or pox, which starts on the chest, spreads to the hands and feet, and pox infection is also characterized by swollen lymph nodes. The Public Health Agency of Canada says incubation is approximately 7 to 17 days. So if you feel like you got monkeypox, you can monitor yourself for about 20 days, and if things ain't popping up, you ain't hiving, and you good to go. In terms of how serious monkeypox is, cases are usually mild. Most people recover within 2 weeks, but it can be deadly. The fatality rate is between 1 and 10% depending on the strain of the virus. The Congo Basin strain has a fatality rate of 10%, while the West African strain is milder with 1%. So basically, at least 1 to 10 out of 100 people will die if they get monkeypox. In the UK, infections have been identified to be caused by the West African strain. It is not clear what strain patients in Quebec contracted during the 2022 outbreak. So guys, I'm reading here that the best way to protect yourself against the monkeypox, if you're kind of like a germaphobe, or you just don't want to have to worry about it, right? Or you don't want to be like, oh man, I accidentally got monkeypox. You can get a vaccine. Monkeypox vaccines are effective at protecting you from monkeypox. 2 doses provide the best protection. Get dose 1, wait 4 weeks, and then get dose 2. And then it says, how long do these vaccines last? The vaccinations, according to the CDC, booster doses for the monkeypox vaccine are recommended every 2 to 10 years for those who have continued risk of exposure. And by the way, I just read this again from the actual official World Health Organization website. It says here, who's at risk for monkeypox? People who have multiple or new sexual partners are currently most at risk, okay? Engaging communities of gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men to raise awareness is essentially protect the most at risk. If you are a man who has sex with other men, you know your risk and take your steps to protect yourself and others. All right, gays and bis, all right, it's up to y'all to protect the rest of the world. Be safe out here, okay? Just please use protection. Just watch your freaking self, bro, okay? If y'all get too horny, you might end the entire world. So Micah said, DrDisrespect deleted his admission to talking to a minor from Twitter, trying to make a comeback. Yo, what is DrDisrespect doing, bro? I don't get it. He came back about 2 weeks ago, I would say, with this whole like chess piece picture, like he's playing chess and he's already cheated and he went 3 moves against a person who was playing checkers, and I was like, okay, you're cooking something. But then he came back to Twitter, deleted his tweets when it came to his confession, and then he made a tweet of himself. Starting here, Jake Lucky saying DrDisrespect has now deleted his Twitch ban statement in which he admits to inappropriately messaging a minor. So like I don't understand the point of deleting it unless he lied, unless he didn't do it. Like, it's there. Everyone knows about it. Everyone knows about this tweet. And then when you try to delete it, it's just going to become more like memorialized. It's going to be on a statue eventually. People are going to be walking in DC and they're going to see the full daggone tweet of this because someone is going to literally immortalize that for everyone to see forever and ever. So I don't get the point of deleting it. Like, but he also had this to say. Vacation is just too good right now. We'll be back soon though, champs. We have lots to talk about. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey, we live in a simulation, okay? We live in a simulation. We come out here. What would you guys do? Let's hypothetically, okay? I know you guys are always like, Omni, please don't do anything bad. Hypothetically, I came out here and made the exact same tweet and confessed to talking to some minor on Whispers of Twitch, right? I did it, right? And then a month later, I'm like, guys, I took a vacation after this whole kid dealing minor thing, and man, it's been awesome. Anyway, I can't wait to come back to talk to you guys. Like, brother, I'm trying to understand what exactly is this man cooking? What is he hiding? What could he say that would somehow be able to spin himself from confessing about inappropriately talking to a minor? What could it be? First mystery of this whole DrDisrespect thing was why did he get banned on Twitch? That was the big old thing. And now the question is this: why is he doing this? What is he hiding? They're calling you a kid liker on X, Doc. That's what they're saying on everything app. Getting ratioed, bro. Yeah, we know which island you're taking a vacation on. Insinuating that he is taking a vacation on Epstein's island. Vacation so good right now, and implying that this man is on actual copium mode. The thing though about DrDisrespect, right, is like, I mean, whether you like him or not, this man is rich off his nuts now. Like, it's like, if he was a crook or a criminal or a bad guy, he won. He's fine. Like, you're not going to take all of his money and his riches and everything that he has earned up until this point. Like, he can be like, well, you got me, guys. He's like on Scooby-Doo. But instead of like getting arrested, you're like, well, I guess my journey ends here. I'm gonna go retire for the rest of my life, and like maybe like a couple generations of my own family, and go chill in my casa, and then travel around the world and just do whatever the hell I want. Like, yeah, you kind of just get to live your best life. You basically just get early retirement. You get to stop making as much money. But I don't think he is done. So with that said, I'll keep you guys posted when DrDisrespect finally comes back to say the things that he wants to say. You and I will be here to sit down and talk about it. I can't wait for it, to be honest. My curiosity has never been at an all-time high. It's like in a puzzle, right? And I'm trying to understand what this missing piece is going to be, because I just quite literally cannot understand or figure out what this man is going to tell us when he returns. But when he does, I'll be here and we'll be sipping the tea and looking at this together. Wolf Phoenix said Oreo and Coca-Cola did a fusion dance. Apparently they're teaming up to make an Oreo flavored Coke Zero and a Coke flavored Oreo. I am going to try this. I really like zero drinks that have like 0 calories or whatever. I absolutely like that. Specifically, my favorite one is Coke, Cherry Coke Zero. Okay, it's just a little Omni lore or whatever, but it's tasty and it's good. It's not like delicious, but like I don't like soda and juice anymore. Ever since I kind of, took off like the calories that come from like liquids, when I come back to it, I'm like, God dang, this is harsh. This is some crazy, like it's very, very, very sweet. So I like I can drink the flavor. It's kind of like San Pellegrino, right? Sparkling water. You can drink it, but it kind of feels like you're maybe drinking soda, but not really, but it's just straight up water. This one is, you can get the zero sugar. I know there's this whole thing about aspartame. I think there's an ingredient in there that says that you might get cancer from it, but I feel like everyone says that there's an ingredient in everything that gives you cancer, right? Like every time I go on a TikTok, they tell you that everything that you eat and or drink will give you cancer. I'm like, well, fuck. Okay, is there anything that I can do that will not increase the chances? And I think the answer is no. But long story short, I will be trying this Oreo zero sugar. I won't taste it. I just want to taste it. I like Oreos a lot. And then Oreo Coke flavored, yeah. When it drops, I'll look out in the stores. I'll be on the watch. I'll come here. I'll taste it for you guys live. Well, not live. I'll record it for you here. You can tell. And I'll let you guys know what I think. That'll be a little fun sign bit. So guys, remember the freaking Australian breaker that went to the Olympics and started doing the T-Rex and the Velociraptor and started kind of like, like was just literally gooning on the Olympics, right? I recorded it and I got my entire video nuked for about a good 2 hours or so. You guys let me know that the video basically got ejectocito cuzzled by the Olympics, so I had to remove that from the video when I covered it. But yeah, there's this lady, her name is Raygun, and it was the worst break dancing like routine I've ever seen in my life. A complete mockery of the sport itself, and people are wondering, did she rig the Olympics? How did she get in there? Like, was she the best? that Australia had to offer, or did she cheat her way to the top, bro? The Australian breakdancer Reagan that blew up earlier this month might have rigged her way into the Olympics, could even set a precedent for newer sports being added to the Olympics, and then shows the cat. I've already shown you guys the cat, okay? They're sleeping right now, okay? But yeah, let's just check. Change.org petition signed by thousands claims that Reagan set up her own governing body for breakdancing to control the selection process and sideline other qualified dancers. That's actually impressive, okay? I would say what's most impressive about this thing is that she might have gotten away with it. That's impressive. Neither Reagan nor Mieres, the person that owns the organization that kind of helped push her to get to the Olympics, responded to these allegations. However, Reagan did address her critics indirectly during an August 10th press conference, defending her performance and emphasizing the importance of creativity in breakdancing. And she said, quote, "I was never going to beat those girls on what they do best, their power moves. What I bring is creativity. All of my moves are original." Bro, can you imagine you go to the Olympics, right? And you see like Simone Biles and she's just out there like killing it, right? And you're just like, dang, I ain't never going to win. I can't beat Simone Biles. And you get out there on the gymnast mat and you just start going out there and doing like all of these weird flips, the sidewards front flip, twirl flip, the you just go out here and just make up all your own moves and you're like, yeah, the only way to beat Simone Biles is to invent new shit. I don't know about you guys, but you can't just go into a breakdancing contest, right? And then just turn it into interpretive dancing, right? And be like, yeah, anything could be breakdancing if you just create new stuff. Anything could be whatever kind of dance, right? Every dance has a dance. I can't go to like a salsa class, right? And just start breaking and be like, oh no, this is this is my version of salsa, right? Like you can't go and take people's dances and then remove the moves that are involved in that said culture and dance and then still continue to call it that, right? It's buffoonery to the most, okay? I don't think anything's going to come from this. I can't believe that it actually occurred. I'm more impressed by the fact that she got there in the first place, but I don't know. Unless anything big comes from this story, I'm moving on. This is just a wild thing that should have never happened in the first place. But I'm kind of glad that it did because we got to watch her doing whatever the hell that was when it was at the Olympics. But guys, pause. Have you ever been in a car accident? Because you guys know that I have, and yeah, it sucked. Especially if you get hurt, because then you got to figure out how you're going to pay for all of these expensive medical bills while trying to manage your own injuries at the same time. It's exhausting, it's tiring, but that's exactly where Morgan & Morgan comes in. Contacting a personal injury attorney should be your first step when it comes to any kind of car accident. It's a no-brainer and it costs you nothing unless you win. You have nothing to lose, and a firm like Morgan & Morgan can quickly determine if you have a case. And when they do have a case, they don't settle for lowball offers. Morgan & Morgan have achieved significant verdicts in the past few months for victims involved in life-altering car crashes. Yours might be worth millions as well. There's no need for you to visit law offices and sit through long consultations. You can submit a claim and have a lawyer review your case with only 8 clicks on your phone. And from there, you can upload documents, medical records, and text your attorney and legal team throughout the duration of the case. LDR, you just got into a car accident and your current and future health are at stake. An instant call to Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, may be all you need to get the compensation that you deserve. If you ever got seriously injured, your case could be worth millions and you're only a few clicks away from potentially changing your life. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at https://forthepeople.com/omni, found in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen from your phone's camera. And again, special thanks to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video. All right, guys, buckle in because I am about to tell you how to succeed in a MrBeast production. That's right. There's a document that got leaked that shows about MrBeast. It's everywhere. It's public information now. So might as well go ahead and talk about it. But if you ever wanted to work for MrBeast and you want to know how to succeed, there's a 34-page document. Get your tea. All right, let's do some research on how you can make it in the industry as being MrBeast's production crew. The first page says, "Hi, I'm Jimmy, MrBeast, and as his team is growing larger, I no longer get to spend as much time with everyone as I used to. The first dozen employees have had unfiltered and unlimited access to me to learn as much as they could about my vision and what I wanted. Sadly, you don't have that luxury, so I thought it would be useful to try to brain dump as much as I can into this silly little book to give new people to help bring them up to speed on everything we've learned over the past past decade with this channel. We've thought through a lot of chances, and most of the problems you face we dealt with. So I genuinely believe if you intently read and understand the knowledge here, you will be much better set up for success. So if you read this book and pass a quiz, I'll give you $1,000. Sorry in advance for all the run-on sentences and grammar issues. I'm a YouTuber, not an author. Ha ha. So far, I like it. Actually, you know, like, hey, look, I can't talk to all of you guys because we're getting bigger and bigger, but here is basically what I would tell all of you guys if I could summarize it in a small pamphlet kind of thing, in a way for you guys to kind of hear what I have to tell you. These are the biggest, most important points when it comes to, in my opinion, running a successful YouTube channel. Okay, nothing weird about this so far. Just MrBeast saying hi. Then says this is not a rule book. Okay, I need to kick this thing off by saying, but the purpose of this is not to give you a bunch of rules to follow. On top of that, I want nothing in here to be taken literally. What we do is complex and changes based on the situation. I need you to repeat this in your head 3 times. Quote, I will apply everything I read with a grain of salt. This is not an inclusive list of everything. I hope this inspires you with questions and come to us to learn more. Prelude. He says, I don't know what this means. I could make a separate book for creative, a separate book for production, a separate book for editors, etc. But I think that'd be dumb. Everything we do here is interconnected, and the more you understand about what others are doing and trying to accomplish, the better set up for success you will be. So this will be information about all parts of MrBeast Productions, and I advise everyone to read it in its entirety. A good example of this is James Warren. He understands every single part of this. Okay, I'm not reading all of that in its entirety. What is your goal here? Your goal here is to make the best YouTube videos possible. That's the #1 goal of this production company. It's not to make the best produced videos, not to make the funniest videos, not to make the best looking videos, not the highest quality videos. It's to make the best YouTube videos possible. Everything we want will come if we strive for that. Sounds obvious, but after 6 months in the weeds of a lot of people tend to forget what we are actually trying to achieve here. He's saying, look, I literally only want to make videos that cater to YouTube and YouTube only. I want to dominate the algorithm and figure out how to abuse it and max it out as much as freaking possible. The next one says, I don't care how traditional media does things. Pardon the bluntness, but this is not Hollywood, and I do not want to be Hollywood. And if that sentence is a turn off to you, then you're probably at the wrong job. I genuinely mean that. YouTube is the future, and I believe with every fiber of my body, it's going to keep growing year over year, and in 5 years, YouTube will be bigger than anyone will have ever imagined. I want this channel to be at the top, which is why I say we are not Hollywood. 99% of movies or TV shows would flop on YouTube. On top of that, they be wildly unprofitable, have no flexibility, and long lead times that can adapt to trends. We aren't here to make a small movie once or twice a year. I want to make one once a week, LOL, which is why you need to be nimble and produce content our way, not the way you were taught before. If you want the highest probability of success, I beg you to learn why we do what we do at a deep level before you try fix anything. We've done countless videos and invested hundreds of thousands of hours collectively building how we do things. I know it's not perfect, but we have a reason for how we do most stuff, and it's probably a decent one. So we're already into page 4. Okay, so far, no problems, in my opinion, right? It's just saying, like, look, we're here. We know what we're doing. If you're going to be a part of this thing, I need you guys to be on board. I get that you bring your own special talents. I get you bring your own ideas and you bring your own abilities or whatever, but I need you to just pour into what we have already created, and I need you to be on board with that and that only, because we know what the hell we're doing, okay? So far, this document seems fine, actually. The amount of hours you work is irrelevant. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, maybe I spoke too soon. Before you get mad, recall the story about James solving a problem in 30 minutes, a team of 5 couldn't in a week. In that example, does it really matter how many hours they worked? Obviously, we want grinders that put in the hours and love you guys to death that do, but at the end of the day, you will be judged on results, not hours. We are a results-based company. Get shit done and move the goalposts. I 1000% agree with that. There's a lot of people who will say, like, man, I spent 8 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours trying to figure out this problem, and then I fixed it, right? And in my opinion, a lot of people like to translate working long periods of time and then equating that to good work. Jobs, and most people are looking for efficiency, okay? If it takes you 20 hours to do something that only someone else it takes 2 to 3 hours, you are not a good worker, okay? You might be working hard, but that does not equate to you being a good worker, okay? There's a lot of people feel like if they put in the hours, then they deserve the compensation, and it's not the equivalent here, okay? Continuing, I only want A players. As I type this, I realize it may not be the wisest category, everyone in the 3 buckets, but this is how I believe we should look at everyone, a part of the production team. You're either an A player, a B player, or a C player. There's only room in this company for A players. A players obsessive, learn from mistakes, coachable, intelligent, don't make excuses, believe in YouTube, see the value of the company, and are the best in the goddamn world at their job. B players are the new people that need to be trained into A players, and C players are just average employees. They don't suck, but they aren't exceptional at what they do. They just exist, do whatever, and get a paycheck. They aren't obsessive and learning. C players are poisonous and should be transitioned to a different company immediately. It's okay, we give everyone severance, they'll be fine. So he's saying, look, we're looking for people who are actually obsessed as Jimmy. Jimmy's looking for people who are obsessed with YouTube just like him. Like, which again, I think is actually fair. He's saying, I want to cultivate an environment where people are just obsessive with me. And I think that's how we're going to basically succeed. If you kind of just want to get a job here, get the paycheck, and then kind of like coast, he's not looking for that. He's looking for people who are all crazy people trying to do crazy things. Now, this one is good for any of you guys who want to know about YouTube. This is good information. Okay, if you want to make YouTube content, Jimmy is basically saying, Chapter 1, what makes a YouTube video viral? Quote, I spent basically 5 years of my life locked in a room studying virality on YouTube. Some days, me and some other nerds would spend 20 hours straight studying the most minor things, like is there a correlation between better lighting at the start of the video, a less viewer drop off? There is, have good lighting at the start of the video, haha, or any other tiny things like that. And the result of those probably 20,000 to 30,000 hours of studying is, I'd say, I have a good grasp of what makes YouTube videos do well. The 3 metrics you guys need to care about is the CTR, the click-through rate, the average view duration, AVD, and the average view percentage, the AVP. Those are the big 3. Make sure you know those abbreviations because that's how most people will refer to them. Up first, we'll talk about the CTR. This is important no matter what department you work in. CTR is basically how many people see our thumbnail in the feeds divided by how many that click it. If 100 million people see our thumbnail and 10 million click on it, that means that 10% clicked and we have a 10% CTR. This is what dictates what we do for videos. I spent 50 hours in front yard is lame and you wouldn't click it, but you would hypothetically click I spent 50 hours in ketchup. Both are relatively similar in time/effort, but the ketchup one is easily 100 times more viral. An image of someone sitting in ketchup in a bathtub is exponentially more interesting than someone sitting in their front yard. Titles are equally as important for getting someone to click. A simple way to up that CTR even more would be to title it, I survived instead of I spent. That would add more intrigue and make it feel like more extreme. In general, the more extreme, the better. I don't like bananas won't perform the same as bananas are the worst food on the earth. Now, if you're in the production or creative, you might be wondering, why does the title and thumbnail matter to me? Expectations is why. The title and the thumbnail on the videos you will be producing set the expectations for the viewer of your video. Imagine you clicked on a video titled World's Largest Bouncy Castle and the thumbnail had a giant yellow bouncy castle besides a bunch of huge buildings. Then when the video plays, it's not a yellow bouncy castle, it's red. It's also not the world's largest. It's also in a field with no buildings like a thumbnail. You feel like you were lied to and click off because the video did not meet the expectations of the title and the thumbnail. This is why you must know the title and the thumbnails of the video you are making. How can you know how to start off your video if you don't even know what expectations the viewers have of you? Now, let's jump over to the second metric that matters of the AVD. Okay, so far, click-through rate, this is good information, guys. Like, this is as good as it literally is going to get. I'm right now, I'm 1000% agreeing with Jimmy. Like, he hasn't said anything false. I'm 6 pages in. I'm almost, halfway in. And so far, this feels like a pretty informative and good document. Now, let's jump over to the second metric that matters, AVD. This is how long on average people watch a given video. The cool thing about YouTube is they give us super detailed graphs for every video that show the exact second we lose a viewer on every single video. So you get the key moments and it shows the drop off. See that blue line in the image below? That represents the attention span of 60 million people that clicked on this video. It's crazy, but we can see exactly when every single person who clicked on this video clicks off. As with almost every video on YouTube, the first minute has the most loss. Go look. This is why we freak out so much about the first minute and go so above and beyond to make it the best we freaking can. On this particular video, we lost 21 million viewers in the first minute of the video, which surprisingly compared to other channels is above average and could have been much worse. Let's say the start of the video wasn't well lit. I didn't match the expectations of the clickbait. I didn't pre-plan what I'd say, and we didn't front load some interesting stuff for the first minute of content. We would have lost much less than 21 million because it wouldn't have even gotten 21 million views. But if the views were hypothetically fixed, then instead of still having 39 million viewers at the 1 minute mark, it would be more like 20 million, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then after the first minute of content, you will have what calls minutes 1 through 3. All right, so guys, I'm gonna pause here because if I keep reading this is gonna take freaking forever, and I lied. I don't feel like it, okay? I'm going to scroll through to see where I can get to like the bad stuff, right? And as I scroll, in case you guys at home want to kind of read more to learn how to be a better YouTuber, okay? You can stop the video, you can pause. I'll make sure the document is here for purposes in case you just want to be a super YouTuber. But right now, As I'm reading, it sounds like Jimmy is just basically educating, his people, the groups, and everyone about how to make good YouTube videos. This is very informative. This is great information to give anybody, in fact. Here he talks about the shape of the retention graph, the dips and the spikes. I really want to get to the part where apparently there might be some damaging problematic behaviors when it comes to, I guess, MrBeast and his crew. Because so far, I'm 10 pages in, and I have no problem with what Jimmy has been stating. Chapter 2, creating content. Let me read this one. For the next part, I want to write about actually creating content. I'm not going to talk about production system in particular because the way we run this production changes almost every year. I just want to pass on things to see new people typically fail at, and in general, what I want. Our videos are hard, and if you take the difficulty of our videos and treadlined it, and over time, you see they are only getting harder. This is why I want the best in the world and people who are obsessed. If you're not growing, eventually the difficulties of the videos will outgrow you. Whether it be production, creative, camera, or editing, I want you to be obsessed with YouTube. Get rid of Netflix and Hulu and watch tons of stuff on YouTube. It will, without a doubt, in my mind, make you more successful here. The more invested you are in our world on YouTube, the more you understand trends, how we can stand out to be more original, what we could do better, etc. You should also really try to watch every MrBeast video on the channel. Sounds obvious, but I've asked multiple people this week what they thought about last week's gaming video, and not a single person had seen it. Again, I'm going to scroll because, again, what he's saying here doesn't seem bad. He's just basically saying, look, I want you guys to be crazy, like me, basically, I want you to be crazy here. I want you to look in them eyes and tell them they're a bottleneck and take it a step further. Check in daily. Leave no room for error. Now let's say Tyler and you agree it will be done in 5 days. You don't get to set a reminder for 5 days and not talk to him for 5 days. Every single day you must check in on Tyler and make sure he is still on track to hit the target date. No excuses. Take ownership. Okay, just basically like, yo, be on point. Lock in. For the next part, I just want to bring up about random things and explain why we do certain things. If you understand all of this, then you'll be a good spot. Like, seriously, these are the cheat codes and you should take them to heart. Video everything. I kind of view through here. There's nothing much saying here. Say the negatives. Title says it all. Don't just tell people on your team or me why something is good. It's infinitely more valuable to tell us why it's not good. Okay, I found the cancel we need for the video, but it's all booked all year, over budget, and someone died in it last week. Huh? I guess that's the negative that they could say. It's your fault. Track the contractor. Okay, now we might be getting into some like cult-like stuff. By the way, I don't know if you guys have ever told you this story, okay? And I feel like we're kind of rambling here, but this is just like talk time with Omni while reading a document. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. I was in a cult, and not I know that sounds bad, but not because I wanted to. I found out later that it was a cult. It was this thing. I forget what it was called. It was a company I joined from college. I was trying to make some money because I was broke. I was selling books door to door. They were educational books. They were really good. And the way that they teach you in training is that basically it's bad. It's real bad. They brainwash you to becoming these selling agents, to never take no for an answer. And then like, if you have any kind of pain, you ignore it, wake up at 5 a.m. and take cold showers. It was weird, bro. Like they would try to change your way of thinking and everyone became like a selling book robot, right? And it almost reprogrammed you, and then find out later that I thought this was a traumatic experience that I went through. I'll tell you this story. Maybe I'll do a one-off or something. It was really bad, but long story short, I read into it a few years later and I realized people were saying, yeah, that shit was an absolute cult. And I was like, God damn, well, that explains why it was so bad. Anyway, it's your fault. Track the contractor. I already talked about this, but if there's one thing I'd really love to impose on you from all this writing, is that you can't just dump and forget your projects. I can't stand when people dump and forget their project on a contractor, and then the day before they shoot, blame them when it's not ready. That's on you, not the contractor. Okay, again, I check in daily, receive videos, and weeks in advance if you're fucked, not days. This is good. I am not always right. Another paragraph that I assume is not going to be problematic. What I'm trying to say is I have to run 4 channels, 3 businesses, a charity, a network, maintain our image, all at the same time. So when you need something from me, you have to understand that I'm probably not as knowledgeable about a video as you, okay? So I don't know everything because I'm doing too many things at once. So, don't, look at me like I know everything. Critical components are the things that are essential in your video. If I want to put 100 people on an island and give it away to one of them, then securing an island is a critical component. Doesn't matter how well we plan the challenges on the island, how good the weather is, without the island, there is no video. Hence, it's a critical component. Another example of a critical component would be a title and a thumbnail. Remember that bouncy castle story from earlier? How the thumbnail had a yellow bouncy castle, but the video had a red one? The thumbnails of the videos you're producing can also create critical components. Without what you're working on, we do not have a video. Again, just more technical information about how you know, I want to say basically he's a nerd when it comes to making YouTube videos. I'm literally halfway through this thing and I see nothing wrong. Communication lines. It's very important as a company we maintain proper comm lines. On set and off set, there's always someone responsible for everything on the video, and if multiple people are responsible for the same thing, then that's a problem. It needs to be fixed. Ideally, when communicating across departments, you go over and you skip blah, 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 blah. There's got to be something here. I'm looking for something bad here, guys, but so far, nothing bad. Creativity saves money. I don't think it comes to a surprise when I say we don't have unlimited money here. We can't have every video constantly going over budget because the money has to come from somewhere, but you're in a tough spot because I constantly want better and better videos. A lot of people who work here have definitely thought before, if Jimmy wants us to be on budget, why does he keep asking us to do so many expensive things? Or I know Jimmy won't like this, so I need to spend more money. People always assume money is the answer, and if we just spend more money, we can give Jimmy what he wants, which is wrong. Creativity is the answer. Here's an example I use all the time with our gaming team. They love to give away money every video, but which sounds cooler to you as a prize for a gaming video? $20,000 or a year's supply of Doritos? To me, Doritos is so much more funnier, and I think our audience would find it effing hilarious. So let's say we define a year's supply of Doritos by 5 packs of Doritos a day, 365 days. That's 1,800 packs. We can round up and say $1 per pack. Our prize for the video just went from $20,000 to only $1,800 because we didn't just throw money at a problem and we used creativity. Again, nothing that I have a problem with. What's going on here? Where's the bad stuff, Jimmy? Okay, where's the evil corporation, Mr. Beast? Always have a backup. Okay, and again, not a problem. Don't take anything at face value. Always dig. What is this? One of the common themes you're probably seeing is accountability that double downs on that. Don't take anything at face value. Always dig. This is particularly important when dealing with people outside of the MrBeast production team. Oh, if someone says something's too good to be true, find out why. If it's fishy, investigate. If you need 10,000 pillows by the next week and you've called 10 pillow companies and none have more than a few hundred in stock, but then the 11th company magically has 10,000 pillows, investigate. Are they drop shipping? Are the pillows crappy? Why the F does no one want your pillows? Push and get answers. What tends to happen is people think their job is done by finding the 10,000 pillows and just order them. Do not overly trust people outside the company. Investigate and verify. Good information again. Owning mistakes. I hate excuses and I despise with my entire soul when people just try to save face instead of learn from how they messed up. Mistakes are okay. Genuinely, they are, and I expect you to make a lot. That's perfectly fine. Every veteran here has cost me $1 million at one point or another, and you can go and ask them yourselves if I ever held it over their heads. The reason I'm okay with F-ups is because I know that's how you learn. See, it is me investing in your brain, hence why we have a zero tolerance for zero players. Those are F-ups that could have been done by an A player that will retain that information. Own shit up, and you can address how to fix it from moving on. Okay, good, great. Nothing comes before your prios. If Ali says your priorities are to get a Lamborghini under 200K, get it wrapped in an anime characters, and make a custom steering wheel, then nothing on the freaking planet is allowed to come between you and getting those priorities done. If the other team asks you for your help and you spend 2 days helping them and fall behind on getting your Lamborghini secured, that's your fault. If the studio is burning down and you stop working to put out the fire and you don't get the Lamborghini, that's your fault. Jokes. But seriously, don't let anything come before your priorities, okay? So don't let anything else what you're doing get in front of whatever they say is #1 priority. Here it says use consultants. I'm pretty sure there's nothing wrong with that. Math, science, vision, proves budget, everything you need, okay? Pretty sure there's nothing wrong with that. No does not mean no. Okay, I think this might finally be one of the potential problematic things that people were talking about when it comes to Jimmy and his statements. Okay, I think I remember seeing this on an article or somewhere here. And also the title no does not mean no is a little bit, of a sussy baka. It kind of smells like a baka. So let's let's read this one, okay? When dealing with people outside MrBeast Productions, never take a no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of and you call the local Dollar Tree and the person that answers says, no, you can't film here, that literally does not mean shit. Okay, talk to the other employees and see if any are fans or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss, their boss's boss, have me DM them on Twitter and try their social team, etc. If after all avenues are exhausted, you are left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically, what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through the no. Don't just stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of the many tools that when combined dramatically improve your probability of success when producing here. Unpopular opinion here, and maybe this is the sales guys in me that's coming out, but again, I don't see this as a problem, right? If you're talking to someone and this person doesn't give you an answer that you're looking for, but someone else within the workforce might be able to, I don't think it's a bad thing to continue to exercise all your options. You know, like a lot of people, when you have problems, like let's say you want to call a credit card company because you need to try to get something fixed, and you call the agent and they say, we can't fix it, right? You're like, ah, dang, I can't. No. Call them, ask for their manager, ask for their manager's manager, call another branch. Keep reaching out to people, because maybe if you just talk to the first person only and that stops you from everything, it might stop you from having opportunities or fixing something that you could have fixed. You might not realize that the person who told you no doesn't even have authority to give you the no, and there's someone above them who would be like, yes, hell yes, I'm down. So I don't have a problem with it in this circumstance. The no does not mean no is kind of a little sus, because you know how it applies to freaking consents and everything like that. But if someone says no and then you just go over their head and ask someone else, I don't feel like that's a problem. I just think maybe if you get too forceful by asking the same person who said no and still keep asking the question, then you got to back off, because that's just harassment. But if you're asking multiple people the same question to try to see if there is somebody that will allow it, I'm going to say that's not a problem. You guys can let me know, but I don't really have too much of a problem with this paragraph here so far. Work on multiple videos every day. Please do not come in and only work on one video during a work day. That's how you fall behind on future videos and create a nasty cycle that I'm trying to stop. If you drop everything and go all in on one video for 3 days, then that's 3 days your other videos will fall behind. Eventually, you'll have to drop other videos to focus on those videos, and it will snowball into you can't do anything but focus on what's right in front of you, because you murdered any lead time you have. If you ever only work on one video during the day, you failed as MrBeast employee. So he's basically saying, don't tunnel vision, okay? I don't want you guys working on one thing and one thing only and tunnel vision, okay? I want you to see the big picture, okay? And the big picture is we're working on multiple projects simultaneously. So if you spread your attention over multiple projects every day, then projects every day get focused on, as opposed to just one project and then tunnel vision and then suddenly everything drops to the wayside. Again, y'all got to talk to me, because I'm being very honest with you guys right here. But so far, I see not a lot of problem with what I'm reading. Be able to hold the camera, I don't think we need to read out of that. 1 out of 10 good, 10 out of 10 bad. YouTube has a feature that compares new upload performance to the previous 9. This is what it looks like. And here's an image of basically the 45-day videos, top recent videos. Would you swim? Blah, 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 blah. We've seen these things before, you know, the dreaded 10 out of 10. The when you try to experiment and make a new video, maybe change the thumbnail, maybe do something crazy, and it's just like nobody likes that video. When you get the 10 out of 10 as a YouTuber, it just makes you want to just KYS. You just want to uninstall life, because just like, no, I made the worst video on the channel and everyone freaking hates it. Whereas when you get that 1 out of 10, people are like, yes, I finally did it. I did something great. So we're wrapping up, okay? Random things you should know. I'm almost done with this chapter, and then we can move on to creative. But before we do, so tons of notes around producing content that I can really break into your content sections, okay? Number 1, do not leave contestants waiting in the sun, ideally waiting in general, for more than 3 hours. Squid Game, it cost us $500,000, and Boys vs. Girls, it got a lot of people out. So don't let people wait out in the sun, because that'd be unhealthy for them. That's okay. Spectacles are videos that only the MrBeast channel can do. Not every video should be a spectacle, and we realize these videos are hard, but that's the point. I hate having tons of people on set. If someone is necessary, then that's fine, but if not, kick them off set and go have them watch from behind a monitor. Create an environment where the contestants also feel natural. I'd rather you be honest with each other than nice to each other. Do not talk down to talent or do anything to make them feel like crap, okay? I need them to be happy and in good moods, and those boys are special to me. Ideally, most talks with talent, Chris, Carl, Chandler, Nolan, go through me. Ally or Tyler, Core, to avoid confusion. Me, like simple. The simpler, the better. Apply with a grain of salt. We pivot a lot. Be ready to have everything flipped on its head at a moment's notice. I want money spent to be shown on camera, ideally. If you're spending over $10,000 on something, it won't be shown on camera. Seriously, think about it. Work with intensity. Push outwards, not inwards. Pull all-nighter weeks before the shoot, so you don't have days before the shoot. So there we go. Maybe that's the first one that I've seen where he's basically trying to create a culture where he's saying you need to work a long time, pull all-nighter weeks before the shoot. So it sounds like these guys here are maniacs. I thought that he was more so talking about efficiency, working smarter, not harder, but it sounds like from time to time, MrBeast is going to have some of that crunch. From reading after all of this, the first red flag is the concept of pulling all-nighters, because I have been in a workforce and culture like this where it has been kind of cult-like about how you need to work. And then when they start saying pulling all-nighters, right? That's the part where it starts getting like, okay, we might be messing with some of your employees' health, especially if these all-nighters are things that happen multiple times or too frequently. For me, it's taken me 24 pages to finally just have an actual actual problem with MrBeast. I'm telling you, I'm not a co-op. I'm not a secret collaborator here, okay? I'm just a person who's been in the workforce for quite some time, right? And so far, I've just been seeing this guy talk, and this seems to be the first one that's a bit of a red flag. If something goes wrong on a shoot, always check to see if it can be made into content. A tree falls over on your car. That's effing hilarious. We should mention it in the video. Feasibility is working to see if critical components of a video are actually possible. Example would be if I wanted to play hide and seek in the world's largest building. Never do anything that can make us look bad from a PR perspective. We often renderize sets to see what they look like beforehand, which is amazing. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's it. That was chapter 2. Now it's chapter 3. The finale. Creative. I've read through this a little bit, kind of just seeped through it, and it's just him talking about being creative, you know, just him obsessing with his creativity. The goal of our content is to excite. That may sound weird. What makes good content? The standards for a good audience. Literally anything can make good content. Let's take a baby doll, for example. How to measure success of a content. Like I said at the start of the metrics you can care about in regards to virality or CTR, AVD, and AVP. If you want to know if the contents of a video are good, just look at the AVD and the AVP of the video after we upload it, because based on how long people watch and what percentage of the video they watch, you can clearly see if they enjoyed it. To show this in action, below is a retention data for 2 separate videos. Again, him talking about how to make good YouTube videos. And here you have the audience retention where it says average view duration is 7 minutes versus 5 minutes. Average watched is 70%. Damn! 68%? That 70% is crazy. The answer is in the lower image. People on average watch this video 1 minute and 38 seconds longer than other videos of the same length. Of course, it got triple the views. It's clear as day for YouTube that people like this video much more. For your videos to do well, you must get their AVD and AVP as high as possible. The longer people watch, the better a video will do. This is why I'm such a stickler about every second of the video. Okay, now we're here. He's talking about formats. One way to boost retention on videos is to have a good format for the video to follow. Throughout the history of this channel, you know, will they catch me while I get away? There have been multiple formats. Who is our audience? Here you can see that his audience is pretty huge. He only has 40% in the United States, so he has worldwide audience. And looks like 70% are male, 30% are females. Majority are people between 18 to almost 44. Good Lord. And then you should watch our videos. Brand deals are also content as well. You can see the dips whenever you have an integration. And understand and culture. What you consume on social media when you watch YouTube, TV, the games you play, or what I like to call information diet. Chris Tyson, our first subscriber and the guy in the videos, is a wonderful example of an information diet being used to perfection. Oh boy, this one aged poorly. This dude is funny AF. I've never met anyone in my entire life that can make people laugh like he can, and I never understood why he was so good at it until I lived with him for a few years. The dude watches an obscene amount of cartoons, stupid stuff. His eyeballs exist to inhale copious amounts of just goofy, dumb, brain-numbing content, and as a result, he can quote almost any line from any episode of SpongeBob. He's able to draw from so much stupid shit in his head as an inspiration to make jokes and be quirky. As a result, he's effing hilarious. But let's imagine a different Chris. Let's say instead of cartoons and stupid stuff, his information diet was stocks and investing advice. And for 5 years, that's all he consumed. Do you think he'd be just as funny as he currently is? No. He is, in my opinion, wouldn't even be 20% as funny. If you're a writer or director, you really need to monitor and perfect your information diet. If your diet is not correct, you won't have a good pulse on culture. I don't want you to be Chris. In fact, I think you would probably do harm. Talent needs to inhale cartoons so they can be funny. Writers need to inhale inspiration. Let's say there's a purple fruit in the middle of Australia that when eaten makes you 2 feet taller. If it truly did exist, you wouldn't have known that until just now. But now that you know of it, you can draw it on inspiration for every piece of content you write going forward. Okay, this guy is very, he likes to use a lot of imagery, and I would say, I don't know what the word that I'm looking for is, but he's very, he has a very philosophical view when it comes to his approach to YouTube. And again, just like some guy writing a book and saying, this is what makes me me, and this is what I think that you guys should do as well. It's okay for boys to be childish. If talent wants to draw a dick on the whiteboard in the video or do something stupid, let them. Assume they know all the risk and aren't missing context on why it's not safe. People like when we, in our natural element of stupidity, really do everything you can to empower the boys when filming and help them make content. Help them be idiots. All right, so this was the boys will be boys one, right? And people are like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do you mean by this, MrBeast? What do you mean by this, Jimmy, letting the boys be boys? I got mixed feelings about this as well, right? On one hand, yeah, it's fine to let boys to be the boys, but when it gets to the place where it starts crossing over to like territories, things need to be slapped. I feel like something here needs to draw the line with like, let boys be boys, but also if they cross the line, slap them in their freaking face and say that it's unacceptable, okay? There's got to be like clear guidelines to let people know that they just can't be out here goofing around. Otherwise, you give people, the boys, an inch and they will take a mile. This is one of the ones I'm not a huge fan of. We don't fake things. I think it was confirmed that apparently he does fake a few things, so there we go. Make sure you prep contestants to try to create an environment. If you wrote a banger piece of content but it's a 50-50 chance of working, write another piece of content. I want famous people in our videos. Don't ever put me in a situation where I have to lie, because I won't, and it will screw the video. Unfortunately, I think MrBeast might have put himself in a situation here where he had to lie. No dull moments in videos. You can't fake intensity. The video ending must always be abrupt to protect retention. This isn't really a creative thing, but in general, when on set, be attentive, engaged. Filming days are stressful enough. Be useful. I'm going to use some of this advice from my videos, guys. I've been looking for a way to make our videos better. I'm going to use some of this advice. I'm not going to use all of it, okay? You're not going to see any jump tracks or whatever, but I'm going to figure it out. I've been trying to work on the background to figure out how we're going to hit 1 million. So I'm going to take some of MrBeast's advices and see how I can implement it into our content as well. But don't worry, I'm not going to transform it into like some shit MrBeast type content, but see if I can take some of his theories and apply it to us. Last but not least, we finally made it to the end. The final paragraph. Woo! This has been a long one. If you're still here chugging along or you're enjoying yourself, that's good, but good. I'm getting tired of talking, okay? Chapter 4, your career. If you made it this far, you're probably at least semi-interested in this being your career, so I wanted to chat about it. Because if you're ambitious and you want to dedicate your life to work, you pick the best company in America to do it at. I really don't care to hoard a bunch of money, and I deeply believe in rewarding the people that help this business get to where it needs to be. But before I get into that, let's talk about the future. As I write this, we have 2 teams, and we're growing to 4, growing to 8, blah, 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 blah. We need more leaders in the company. We need hardworking, obsessible, coachable, intelligent grinders that can step up and take some of these leadership spots over the next 2 years. Every single department has an opportunity for you to grow, and if you're in luck, because we don't do yearly reviews, we do whenever the F you want reviews. If you want to become a production manager, tell James your intention and ask him why and why you suck at it and how you could become better. Seriously, he will give you a list of things that need to improve to become what we need, and if you actually listen and master those things, we will give you a shot at the role. The only problem is most people think that they are better than what they really are and don't take seriously when we give them things to improve, and then wonder why they never move up. This isn't a bureaucratic corporate company. You don't have to do something for 5 years to get a promotion. I hate the word promotion. The more responsibility, the risk you help us to navigate, and overall bullshit you deal with, the more you make, and if you want more of that, we will gladly help train you to receive it. There's infinite room for you to grow here. This isn't a stepping stone. This is your final destination. We will win, and we are going to build something amazing. I see a world where this company is worth billions and one day tens of billions. And those of you who help build this will be rewarded. I want nothing more than for you to go all in, obsessive all day, and become so goddamn valuable this company can't operate without you. And in return for becoming so valuable, I hope to give you incredible experiences, a fun place to work, and of course, more money you could ever dream of making at another company. Now read this all over again, because I guarantee you didn't retain it enough. Whew. All right, we made it. That was a lot. So MrBeast wants MrBeast clones. MrBeast wants people who think like him about how obsessive he is with YouTube, because he's obsessive super nerd when it comes to YouTube, and he wants a version of himself, but in every department that exists within his company, whether you're production, creativity, edit. He wants a MrBeast clone. Someone that is literally thinking with his own brain, and then he wants to mass produce clones of people who are just obsessed minded. And I think people might translate that into a cult-like figure, which it kind of is. It kind of is cultish. I think there are pros and cons to kind of creating this environment, and it makes it sometimes very difficult to regulate when it comes to actual real life practice, right? Because I've been through this. I've been through situations like this, and there are companies that run with this environment, this thing where you're very results oriented, very matter of factly, very, hey, you suck, but I'll tell you why you suck and how you can get better. And then there are some people who try to get into this space and they're just not ready. They're not built for this, right? This type of work is not for everybody. If you want to be into the sales job, and you it's not for everybody, and it's a very, very difficult, and the people at the top will make it even more difficult for it. Some people prosper when it comes to that. You know, they get put with underneath a large amount of pressure, such as this program that Jimmy is putting here. Then they grow and turn into a diamond, right? From that pressure, and they become like astronomically large. And some people fold. and they crumble, and they can't handle the community here, people being obsessed all the time, because they're looking at it as like what he calls is the type C type of people who are just trying to come here, collect a check, but their whole life doesn't revolve around YouTube. They kind of want to use this to make money and then go live their own lives kind of thing. This man, Jimmy, is looking for people who want to put all of their heart and soul into this company just to making it build and great. So it's not for everybody. So I can understand how this can create complications with the whole type A, type B, type C type deal. He wants MrBeast clones, type A's, throughout his entire workforce. If you're not about that life, you probably shouldn't be here. Honestly, I thought I was going to see more problematic stuff in this document. Based on what people were saying, I did see a few things that was kind of like a little sussy-ish, and I was like, maybe you want to rephrase or make some emphasis or tell people, hey, don't go too far, don't cross two lines, you know? But to me, it seemed like somebody who was kind of like info dumping the way that they approach their own company, and then what he's looking for when it comes to people doing the exact same thing. I quite literally did not find more problems than I saw more solutions here, and there was a crazy amount of useful information that even you guys at home can take when it comes to making content. So I feel like this pamphlet, document, whatever you want to call it, was pretty freaking resourceful, with a few things that can probably be ironed out and maybe some added disclaimers to give people more protection and make sure that people don't cross the line. That's my overall view on it, but you guys can let me know at home if you read through some of the parts where I was scrolling down or what I did read. Did you have a problem with Jimmy's document, these leaked documents? Is it as problematic as you think it is, or do you think it's more normal? How do you guys feel at home? All right, guys, that's all for this video. Man, that section was really long, but if you made it to the end, leave a like, subscribe. I'm gonna do what Jimmy said. I'm gonna end the video abruptly.